News Alert.
And now at 6, we are following breaking news. The man suspected of killing another man during protests in Portland last weekend has been killed by authorities.
U.S. Marshals say it happened last night while they were serving an arrest warrant near Olympia. They have identified the suspect as Michael Raynal. I'm Ken Body.
And I'm Jenny Hansen. We're told Portland police issued the warrant for his arrest yesterday, and U.S. Marshals went to Olympia to take him into custody. According to U.S. Marshals, initial reports say Raynal took out a gun and threatened the lives of law enforcement officers. That's when they tell us those officers opened fire and that suspect died on the scene. No authorities were hurt.
Officials say Raynal is believed to be behind this incident from August 29th. Aaron J. Danielson was shot and killed in downtown Portland at the same time as Black Lives Matter and pro-Trump protests were going on. Authorities had not officially named him a suspect until now. Vice News spoke to Raynal after Saturday night's shooting and what might have been his final interview. Elise Haas joins us live with a look at what Raynal admitted to Vice News reporters. Elise?
Ken, so here is where the memorial now stands, where Aaron Danielson was shot and killed, and where Raynal admits that he felt that he was justified in that shooting. And Raynal told Vice News that he never really intended on coming down to downtown Portland for that rally, but he said that he did so after a friend called him saying that they needed him. So in that sit-down interview with Vice News tonight, that's where Raynal really goes over what started happening that day. He says that he started noticing hundreds of trucks with flags on them driving around Portland while he was out with his son. At that time, he had no idea that there was a pro-Trump caravan going on until he got home and his friend called him. When he made it downtown that Saturday, he said it was a free-for-all among opposing protesters. Raynal also says police were standing by, letting it all happen. He wouldn't go into specifics about the shooting, but he says he knew what he was doing in that moment.
I had no choice. I mean, I had a choice. I could have sat there and watched them kill a friend of mine of color, but I wasn't going to do that. Lots of lawyers suggested.
Raynal said he was confident he didn't hit anyone who was innocent and made his exit. He said he feels totally justified in that shooting, saying that he did it in self-defense. He said this was specifically related to the protests. Raynal says that he is not a part of any organized group, but said, quote, "I am 100% anti-fascist," end quote. He ended that interview with Vice saying that he feels like a civil war is brewing in America, and he said that he feels like the shot that he fired was the beginning of a war. If you want to see the entire sit-down interview with Raynal, you can watch that on Vice News. We also have a link to it at KOIN.com. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
All right, thank you, Elise. And earlier this week, we heard from friends of Danielson, the man shot and killed in downtown Portland Saturday night. They said he was not a fascist, a racist, or a radical. They say he was a good person who always wanted to help people. You know, last night, President Trump took to Twitter to talk about the deadly shooting in Portland before learning of Raynal's death. He wrote in part, quote, "Why aren't the Portland police arresting the cold-blooded killer of Aaron J. Danielson? Do your job and do it fast. Everybody knows who this thug is."
New overnight.